everyone, David here. So, cutting a video for something that Tatum just touched a little bit last night about, and that was the prison stuff. He was talking about, I guess, his family and about them going to prison. But it made me think about the fact that our prison reform. So, we actually have in our copyrighted plan a plan for prisons. So the first piece of the plan is we want to add on to another two complexes to the prison system. So the first complex is kind of a rehabilitation complex. And what I mean is it's where the good prisoners and the people that are about to be released, the good prisoners can stay and kind of mentor the ones that are on, have been reported to actually be doing good. But the other piece is for the ones that are about to be released. And what would be in there would be stuff to start training them to where they can start having a career when they get out. And I don't mean, we're talking kind of a trade. We're talking kind of a trade. So, there's going to be actual schooling and stuff, but there's also going to be the aspect of a trade school. Because not a lot of people are good at studying and books and stuff like that. Some are just better at trade. So we want to add in kind of a thing to where they can get into trade. So let's use truck driving, for instance. Basically, we want to add this trade area. Now, granted, it'd be secured, it'd be enclosed. They couldn't do anything without the officers and stuff like that. So this way they can start working on having a career by the time they get out. Then Then the second facility we want to build is outside the prison, but gated, an enclosed with trailers and stuff like that, all these different places for them to actually live. Now they'd get like a card or something like that, and only they'll be able to go in and out. So once they're released and they're on like parole or probation, they don't have to go back to living in the hood. They don't have to go back to living in the areas that put them in this situation. Rather than just letting them out of prison and say, here's $100, go have a life. This way we can bring an actual prison reform system in. So first they do the first step where they would attend the trade-ish school, and then the next step would be once they're finally released. Now, granted, this ain't for the good prisoners. The good prisoners would just have a place in that first facility because they were being, they did good. They've been being good, and we want them to be mentors. So they will never progress past that part. And at least not until it's time for them almost to be released. But then the ones that are about to be released will be able to go from this stage to the next stage, where now they have a little more freedom, but they have to come in, they have to come in, check out. They have to have a key card. They can go in and out. And if they want to have a visitor, the visitor has to be, it has to be ran, and approved and stuff like that. That way they don't just have anybody coming in and out, but like a family member or something like that could come in. It all had to be registered and signed up. But this way, once they're released, now they use the trade that they learned and get into that career. Once they're in that career, then what ends up happening is they have a place to live that only is accessible to them. So they don't go back into their old ways. They don't get around the people that are bad and stuff like that. Gives them a little bit more freedom than normal. They're on probation and parole and stuff like that, so we don't want them to violate it. So this would be a secure area that would prevent people from the outside coming in without, passing a safety clearance, area and gaining approval for these people to come in. So now they go from being in prison to in a secure area that doesn't allow them out, but it's teaching them a trade, into an actual fenced-in, secured area that they now can go work while they're on probation, parole. They can go to work and then come back home and be in a secure facility. So this way they don't go back, and we can start actually fighting the problem. Because, see, here's the problem. The prisons typically just say, here's some money, here's what you came in with, you go find out what you're going to do yourself. And then the prisoners are left without a job. They have to try to find a job. They're left without a career. They don't have a career. They usually are getting turned down by these companies. So it kind of is operating in the way as our Veterans Villa in some respects. But this will actually bring a real prison reform into the community with a multi-step process. This is the kind of stuff that I was looking at bringing if I decide to run. And if Gavin somehow manages to pull off a win, I'm probably running in 2022, and this is the kind of stuff I will be bringing. This way we can have a stepped process so they don't just get thrown back into the wrong area. Because that's part of the problem of how the prisoners can't never reform their life. They can't redo it. They just get thrown back to the wolves and they get back in trouble again. So we need to completely reform and redo the entire prison system. And the only way to do it is through this multi-step process. This way, and then the reason we want to have the good prisoners having their own, their own area in the first area, because we want to incentivize the prisoners to want to do better, want to be good, want to try to be good mentors and stuff like this. Because we want them to be able to, say, look, this is the way we're getting out. This is the way you actually are going to reform your life. We want more of that. We want the encouragement. This way, we can truly reform the prison system. If we can reform the prison system, we can fix a lot of problems. We have the solution in our copyrighted plan. Now, that was just a general grasp of what it was. It's better laid out in the plan, but I wanted to explain it in a way most people would get it. Thank you and have a good day.